Every morning, you are given a choice to wake up and repeat the same patterns of yesterday or to create something new. The problem is, most people don't realize they even have this choice. They wake up and immediately step into the same thoughts, the same emotions, and the same actions that have defined them for years. And because they do this unconsciously, their life remains the same. But what if you decided, just for today, to do something different? What if you woke up and instead of allowing your past to dictate your day, you chose to think beyond your current reality? What if you made a conscious decision to become the creator of your own experience? Your thoughts are not just passive ideas floating through your mind, they are energy. Every thought carries a frequency, and that frequency influences your emotions. Your emotions, in turn, shape your behavior, and your behavior creates the experiences that define your life. The problem is, most people think the same thoughts every single day, which means they feel the same emotions and take the same actions, leading to the same reality. If you wake up and immediately feel stress, frustration, or doubt, you are already living in the past. Your body doesn't know the difference between an actual experience and an emotion you're reliving. So when you think about the problems of yesterday, your brain sends signals to your body that keep you stuck in a cycle of stress and limitation. And if you do this every day, your body becomes conditioned to live in survival mode, always reacting, always waiting for something external to change before you feel better. But that's not how true transformation happens. If you want to create a new future, you have to teach your body what it feels like before it even happens. This is where most people get it wrong. They think they need to wait for success, for love, for peace before they can feel happy. But the truth is, the moment you start feeling that way in the present, you begin to attract experiences that match that frequency. Science has already proven that your brain does not know the difference between what you imagine and what you experience. When you visualize yourself as confident, successful, and at peace, your body begins to believe it. The neural pathways in your brain start rewiring themselves to reflect that new state of being. And the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. But it doesn't stop there. You have to take action. You have to move in alignment with the person you say you want to be. If you want to be disciplined, you must start acting like a disciplined person today. If you want to be successful, you must carry yourself as if success is already yours. Not in a way that feels forced, but in a way that shifts your identity. Because the moment you see yourself differently, the world will respond to you differently. This is where most people struggle. They think change is hard. They think it takes years. But the truth is, change happens the moment you decide, the moment you stop identifying with your past and start stepping into your future. Every day is an opportunity to reinvent yourself, to choose new thoughts, to feel new emotions, and to take new actions that align with the reality you want to create. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first. Your brain will resist it because it's wired to keep you in the familiar. But discomfort is a sign that change is happening. It means you are stepping beyond your old self. And if you can push past that resistance, if you can stay committed to this new way of being, your external world will begin to shift. So today, don't wait for something outside of you to change before you decide to be different. Change your mind first. Change your emotions first. Act as if the future you desire is already happening. Because when you do this every day, your brain will no longer be a record of your past. It will become a map of your future. Most people wake up every morning and immediately step into a familiar routine. They check their phones, replay yesterday's problems in their minds, and go through the same emotions they've been feeling for years. Without realizing it, they are living on autopilot, stuck in the same habits, the same reactions, the same patterns that keep them exactly where they are. They believe they are making choices, but in reality, their subconscious mind is running the show. The human brain is designed to create efficiency. The more you repeat a behavior, the more automatic it becomes. This is why you don't have to think about brushing your teeth, driving a car, or walking. Your body has memorized these actions so well that they happen without conscious effort. But what most people don't realize is that the same thing happens with thoughts and emotions. If you have spent years thinking in a certain way, whether it's stress, fear, self-doubt, or insecurity, your brain has wired those patterns into your identity. They no longer feel like choices, they feel like who you are. And this is why change feels so difficult. Because every time you try to break free from these old patterns, your brain resists. It tells you, this isn't safe. This isn't who we are. Not because it's true, but because it's unfamiliar. The mind is addicted to the known, even if the known is painful. It would rather keep you in a cycle of struggle than risk stepping into the unknown. But here's the truth. If you continue living on autopilot, you will never create a different future. You will always wake up into the same emotions, make the same choices, and experience the same reality. Nothing will change because you are not changing. The only way to break free is to disrupt the cycle, to become conscious of the thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the actions you take every single day. This begins with awareness. The moment you wake up, instead of immediately falling into your usual patterns, pause. Observe your thoughts. Are they thoughts of possibility, growth, and creation? Or are they thoughts of limitation, fear, and doubt? Pay attention to how you feel. Are you carrying the emotions of yesterday? Stress, frustration, anxiety. If so, recognize that these emotions are not coming from the present moment. They are coming from a conditioned past. And the moment you become aware of this, you have a choice. You can continue running on autopilot, letting the subconscious mind dictate your day, or you can interrupt the pattern. You can decide in that instant that you will no longer be a prisoner of old programming. This is where transformation begins. When you refuse to start your day in survival mode, when you stop letting old emotions control you, when you consciously choose a new way of thinking and feeling, you start reprogramming your brain. And it won't be easy at first. Your mind will try to pull you back. It will tempt you to check your phone, to worry about the future, to replay old problems. But if you resist the pull of the past, even for a few moments, you are weakening the old patterns. You are creating space for something new. From this place of awareness, you can begin to make different choices. Instead of reacting the way you always have, you respond intentionally. Instead of allowing stress to dictate your actions, you choose a new emotional state. Instead of moving through your day unconsciously, you take control of your energy. And this is the key. Your energy is your greatest asset. How you think, how you feel, how you show up in every moment determines what you attract into your life. If you continue running on old programming, you will keep creating the same outcomes. But if you decide to break free, to wake up and consciously shift your state of being, everything begins to shift. Because the truth is, you were never meant to live on autopilot. You were never meant to be trapped in the same patterns of yesterday. You are a creator, a force of energy capable of designing your reality. But first, you must become aware. You must take back control of your mind, your emotions, and your choices. And once you do that, once you stop running on the past and start creating your future, you will realize that nothing outside of you ever had power over you. The power was always within you. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, yet most people use it unconsciously. They wake up and immediately think about their problems, their struggles, their limitations. They don't realize that every thought they focus on, every emotion they allow themselves to feel, is shaping the reality they experience. They believe that change happens outside of them, that they need something external to shift before they can feel happy, successful, or at peace. But the truth is, the future you want to create doesn't begin outside of you, it begins in your mind. Science has proven that your brain does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. When you visualize an experience with enough clarity and emotion, your body responds as if it is actually happening. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between physical reality and mental rehearsal. It reacts to both in the same way. And this is where the power of visualization comes in. When you close your eyes and see yourself as the person you want to become, when you feel the success, the confidence, the joy as if it already exists, you are literally rewiring your brain. You are creating new neural pathways that reinforce this new reality. Most people do the opposite. They spend their time visualizing their fears. They replay failures, imagine worst-case scenarios, and dwell on what's missing in their lives. And because they do this with such intensity, their brain reinforces those patterns. Their body becomes conditioned to feel stress, doubt, and unworthiness, and they carry these emotions into their daily actions. Without realizing it, they are programming themselves to stay the same. But the moment you start seeing yourself differently, everything changes. The moment you decide to break free from the identity of your past and step into the vision of your future, your brain begins to adapt. You start producing different thoughts, feeling different emotions, and making different choices. And because your external reality is a reflection of your internal state, the world around you begins to shift. This is not just wishful thinking. Athletes, entrepreneurs, and high achievers use this technique all the time. They don't just train their bodies, they train their minds. They see themselves succeeding before they even step onto the field. They feel the victory before it happens. And because they do this repeatedly, their brain wires itself to support that outcome. You have the same power. If you want to create a new future, you must teach your body what it feels like before it happens. You must wake up every morning and condition your mind to focus on possibility, not limitation. Instead of thinking about what could go wrong, imagine what could go right. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes, see yourself moving forward with confidence and clarity. Instead of waiting for success to make you feel empowered now, and success will follow. At first, this will feel unnatural. Your brain will resist because it is wired to the familiar. It will try to pull you back into old patterns of doubt and fear. But the more you practice, the easier it becomes. The more you reinforce this new way of thinking, the stronger those neural pathways grow. And over time, it will no longer feel like something you're forcing. It will feel like who you are. This is how true transformation happens. It's not about waiting for circumstances to change. It's about changing yourself first. When you think new thoughts, you feel new emotions. When you feel new emotions, you take new actions. And when you take new actions, your life begins to align with the future you have already created in your mind. So today, decide to stop living in reaction to the past. Decide to become the person you want to be before the world gives you permission. Close your eyes, see it, feel it, believe it. Because the moment you do, your future is no longer just a possibility. It is already happening. Every day, people wake up and unknowingly step into their past. Their first thoughts are of yesterday, the mistakes, the regrets, the things that went wrong. They carry the same emotions they've been feeling for years: stress, frustration, sadness, and they assume that's just the way life is. But what they don't realize is that by constantly reliving their past, they are recreating it. Your mind is like a record of everything you've been through, every experience you've had, every emotion you've felt, every belief you've formed has been stored in your subconscious. And unless you actively choose to change, your brain will continue playing the same old story. You will think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, take the same actions, and inevitably get the same results. But here's the truth. The past only exists if you keep bringing it into the present. If you keep thinking about what went wrong, if you keep feeling the pain of old wounds, if you keep identifying with who you used to be, then you will continue attracting experiences that confirm that identity. Your past is not holding on to you, you are holding on to it. Most people don't realize that their emotions are habits. If you've spent years feeling unworthy, your body has memorized that state. If you spent years feeling anxious, your nervous system is conditioned to expect stress. These emotions are not just in your mind, they are stored in your body, and they become your default way of being. But here's the good news. Just as your brain and body have memorized the past, they can be trained to embrace a new future. You don't have to keep feeling the same way. You don't have to keep identifying with your past self. The moment you decide to think beyond your history, you begin the process of transformation. It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts. Are they pulling you back into old pain, old failures, old limitations? Are they reinforcing a version of you that no longer serves who you want to become? If so, stop. Interrupt the pattern. Shift your focus. Instead of waking up and thinking about what went wrong, start thinking about what is possible. Instead of dwelling on the emotions of the past, teach your body what it feels like to experience something new. And this isn't about pretending the past didn't happen. It's about deciding that it no longer has control over you. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the person who was hurt, abandoned, or overlooked. You are the person who gets to choose who you become today. And yes, your mind will resist at first. It will try to pull you back into old emotions because that's what's familiar. But the more you practice breaking free from the past, the weaker those old patterns become. The more you focus on the future, the stronger your new identity grows. This is how real change happens. Not by waiting for something external to fix your life, but by shifting who you are from the inside out. When you stop living in the emotions of yesterday and start embodying the energy of your future, you will see everything begin to shift. Your relationships will change because you are no longer reacting from old wounds. Your opportunities will expand because you are no longer attracting the same cycles. Your sense of self will evolve because you are no longer defining yourself by what happened to you, but by what you choose to create. And it starts now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when circumstances change. Right now. The past only exists if you let it. The future is waiting for you to step into it. And the moment you decide to leave the old behind, the new will begin to take shape. Everything in your life is a reflection of your energy. The way you think, the way you feel, and the way you move through the world determines what you attract. But most people don't realize this. They believe that life happens to them, that circumstances are random, that success, happiness, and love are things they have to chase. What they fail to understand is that they are constantly sending out signals through their thoughts, emotions, and actions, and the world is simply responding to them. If you wake up every day feeling stressed, overwhelmed, or frustrated, you are unknowingly reinforcing that state of being. You are conditioning your body to expect struggle, and in doing so, you create more of it. Your energy becomes a magnet for experiences that match the emotions you've been living in. And this is why people feel stuck. They are waiting for something external to change so they can finally feel different, but they don't realize that change has to happen internally first. Everything around you is energy. Your thoughts have energy. Your emotions have energy. Even the way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, and the expression on your face all communicate something to the world. When you walk into a room, people can sense whether you are confident or insecure, whether you are open or closed off, whether you are radiating joy or holding on to negativity. And whether you realize it or not, the energy you put out is shaping your reality every single day. Think about the times when you've been in a bad mood. Everything seems to go wrong. You spill your coffee, you hit traffic, people seem more impatient with you. But when you're in a great mood, life flows differently. You meet the right people, opportunities seem to appear, and even challenges feel manageable. This is not a coincidence. It's a reflection of the energy you are carrying. If you want to change your life, you have to start by changing your energy. You have to take control of what you focus on, how you feel, and the state you choose to live in. Instead of reacting to life, you must become intentional about the energy you bring into every moment. Because the truth is, you are not just responding to the world is responding to you. Most people let their external circumstances dictate how they feel. If things go well, they're happy. If things go wrong, they're frustrated. But this is a reactive way to live. It puts your power outside of you, making you a victim of situations rather than the creator of your experience. But when you take control of your energy, when you decide to feel good, to stay in gratitude, to focus on possibility, you shift the entire direction of your life. This doesn't mean ignoring challenges. It doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means deciding that no matter what happens, you will maintain a state of mind that supports your growth. Because when you operate from a place of empowerment, life starts working in your favor. You've seen it before. People who always seem to be in the right place at the right time, people who radiate confidence and attract success effortlessly. It's not luck. It's energy. They have mastered the ability to align their thoughts, emotions, and actions with what they want to create, and as a result, their external world mirrors that back to them. You have the same ability, but it starts with a decision to no longer let circumstances dictate your energy, a decision to take full ownership of your emotional state, a decision to embody the feelings of success, peace, and abundance before they even show up in your life. Because the moment you do that, you shift your frequency. You start attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your new state of being. And when that happens, you'll realize that you were never waiting for life to change. Life was waiting for you to change. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take is shaping your reality. Yet most people go through life unaware of this truth. They wake up and fall into the same patterns, repeating the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and taking the same actions they always have, without realizing that by doing so, they are creating the same experiences over and over again. They are waiting for life to change, but they are not changing themselves. The world around you is not separate from you, it is responding to you. If you are always thinking about what's missing, you will feel lack. If you are always focusing on what went wrong, you will feel stuck. If you are constantly replaying old wounds, you will keep attracting situations that reinforce that pain. Not because the universe is against you, but because you are broadcasting a signal of limitation, and life is simply mirroring it back to you. But the moment you decide to shift your focus, the moment you choose to see possibility instead of limitation, everything begins to change. You stop being a victim of your past and start becoming the architect of your future. You stop waiting for something outside of you to save you, and you realize that the power has been within you all along. The key is intention. You must become intentional about how you think, how you feel, and how you move through the world. Instead of waking up and repeating the emotions of yesterday, you must decide how you want to feel today. Instead of reacting to circumstances, you must take charge of your energy. Instead of letting your past define you, you must create a vision of your future so clear, so compelling, that it pulls you forward. And this is where most people hesitate. They say, I'll believe it when I see it. But the truth is, you have to believe it before you see it. You have to feel the success before it happens. You have to embody confidence before you have proof. You have to step into abundance before the money arrives. Because your reality is not shaped by what is happening to you, it is shaped by who you are. When you start thinking differently, you feel differently. When you feel differently, you act differently. And when you act differently, your life starts producing new results. This is not magic. This is science. Your brain is constantly creating neural pathways based on the thoughts you think most often. The more you focus on possibility, the more your brain wires itself to support that reality. The more you cultivate gratitude, the more your nervous system learns to live in a state of peace rather than stress. The more you train yourself to expect good things, the more you notice and attract them. But this requires practice. Your old self will try to pull you back into old patterns. Your mind will resist, telling you that it's unrealistic, that change is hard, that you are who you've always been. But this is just conditioning. It is not truth. And the only way to break free is to override those thoughts with new ones, ones that reflect the future you are creating, not the past you are leaving behind. You don't have to wait for life to prove to you that change is possible. You can decide right now that you are ready. Ready to think differently, to feel differently, to live differently. Ready to wake up every day with purpose, intention, and clarity. Ready to take control of your energy and direct it toward the life you truly want to create. And when you do this consistently, everything shifts. You begin to experience life in a completely new way. You no longer feel like you are at the mercy of circumstances. You realize that your energy is shaping your reality. And the moment that realization clicks, you will never see life the same way again. Because now you know the truth. You were never waiting for life to change. Life was always waiting for you to step into your power.